They get back a motherfucker. They get back a motherfucker.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction with your boy Isaac, man. Know what I'm saying? And feel me? I hope y'all feeling good today, man. First reaction of the day, man. We're gonna go ahead and knock it out, man. But yeah, I know y'all seen the title, man. Today we have my boy 1090 Jake, man. Shout out 1090 Jake. He definitely one of the best, like, I wouldn't call it documentary style YouTube, like investigator type YouTubers on the platform, I feel like, man. So yeah, shout out to 1090 Jake. But today we have 1090 Jake, Rick Ross, the boss or the officer, man. And yeah, my pre-thoughts real quick, y'all. I always wondered this, man, because it's always been that thing going around, like, everyone knows Rick Ross was a police officer, right? Like, that's just common knowledge in the rap game at this point almost, right? And if you didn't know, you're welcome, nigga. Now you know. But yeah, Rick Ross used to be a police officer, man. So I always wonder, especially when I was younger, like, how the hell do he think he gonna get off, like, portraying this gangster image? Like, this nigga Rick Ross be talking like on some mob boss, gangster image type shit. Like, this nigga be on some shit like, and this nigga used to be locking niggas up. Like, bro, how the hell? That should be like, I don't know. That should be like a red flag or something. I don't know, bro. He should get blacklisted from the industry or something, nigga. How the hell do we let a former cop become a rapper and start talking gangster in this hoe? Like, he gonna do something to niggas. Is that not crazy, y'all? Comment down below, man. But yeah, that's just my pre-thoughts. I always wondered that, but man, we gonna get into it. We gonna see the investigation that 1090 Jake did into this whole matter, and get a little more details on Rick Ross's career as a cop, because he's beefing with Drake right now, so everybody digging up his old dirt and shit. So yeah, man, with that being said, we're gonna hop straight into the video, man. It ain't that long, it's only like 20 minutes, but yeah, if you're new to the channel, man, my name is Isaac. I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Turn on that post notification bell as well, so you're notified whenever I drop another video. Head over to my Instagram, follow me there at officialisaac_, and check out my main channel, man. Pranks and everything over there all the time. 2 bangers just dropped a few days ago over there, man. So y'all go tune into that when y'all done with this. I actually just filmed another banger yesterday, coming very, very soon, man. But yeah, let's get into it.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Rick Ross, the self-proclaimed kingpin, but actual former corrections officer.
Yeah, that's the thing, y'all. Like, yo, is that actually him? Yo, how did you get this footage?
I can already see from here, from where I'm at, this nigga's a total fraud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even no...
Yeah, 50 be exposing the hell out of Rick Ross.
But I paid for the transcripts to your court case.
Daddy recently accused you of working as a prison guard at one point, Rick. Is there any truth to that?
No, that's not true. But that's disappointing to hear that.
This nigga's a straight liar, bro. There are pictures all over the internet of you in your uniform.
Rick Ross thing, him being a correctional officer and dealing with correctional officers.
Wow. Fake niggas get taped up and sent back. Use a fake nigga, you makes up a good act.
Now I know you.
See, man, this is the problem with the damn rap industry today. See, listen, okay. Young kids, I want y'all to take this as a lesson real quick. Just shut the hell up. Listen up to me real quick. Listen to Unc them real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen to Unc. This right here should be a lesson for y'all, man. Stop listening to everything these rappers is saying in these damn songs and taking it as the truth. Stop. These niggas' word is not bond, bro. They're liars, bro. Like, this nigga Rick Ross, you just got caught in the first minute and 5 seconds of this video in a lie, talking about he wasn't a correctional officer. In another clip, he said he was a correctional officer. It's video clips of him marching with the other officers with his suit on and shit, with his little fit on. And now this nigga over here talking about kingpin shit, killing niggas, getting niggas taped up and all this other. Like, bro, beat it. Beat it. We don't want to hear it. Man.
I I think it's fair to say, I know.
Bro, this nigga has his certificates and everything. This nigga does the most research of anybody on YouTube.
Get money. I done did it all except set dudes up, put dudes behind bars, and that's what's important to me.
Pictures turn up.
He said I done did everything except set niggas up and put niggas behind bars.
Like you online, who's working as a correctional officer.
You used to arrest niggas.
Is that or is that not Rick Ross in those pictures?
That was me in the photos. I'm the truth for your troops, just pretend. I analyze in every one of your lines with no flow or mind. Magnified times 5. You lost, I'm Ross.
Now bullets are flying in hip hop.
This is not crazy, yo.
Disses are being dropped and shots keep getting fired. At this point, it seems like Drake versed everybody, but one person in particular is standing out. Rick Ross would drop an immediate response to Drake's diss, but that isn't what's got my attention. Ross would keep dissing through Instagram and referring to...
Y'all hear Rick Ross diss, man? Y'all think that shit was hard? I can't lie, man. I kind of liked it, bro. Like, it was cool. I ain't gonna lie, bro. One thing about me, and y'all gonna learn to know this on my channel, like, I'm not a biased nigga. Like, y'all could clearly see I don't agree with this nigga Rick Ross being a damn correctional officer, even though it was just a job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then portraying this gangster image after. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself, nigga. But, what I will say is, the nigga do have a few songs. And he is one of the OG rappers, nigga. We can't act like Rick Ross not. Know what I'm saying? So with that being said, yeah, man, I don't think he's the best rapper, but Rick Ross definitely knows how to rap. I will say that. And his diss song was hard. I liked it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Drake shit was hard too. I like both of them.
Is a white boy, as if that's
you up next, Kendrick.
Well, now you got a white boy's attention. Apparently, everybody forgot the biggest boss of Miami, the hustler who knew Pablo and Noriega, the man who thinks he's Big Meech, Larry Hoover. Everybody forgot
that song's so hard.
CO. Now this isn't new news. Back
it is crazy that he said he knows Pablo Escobar. Y'all think that's true?
And he'd speak exclusively with all hip-hop stating, "My life is 100% real. These online hackers putting a picture of my face when I was a teenager in high school on other people's bodies. If this shit was real, don't you think they would have more specifics, like dates and everything?"
Nah, you done fucked up. Because you know this nigga 1090 gonna find the dates.
Photoshopped, his kingpin lifestyle was real, and there was no proof behind the CO allegations. Well, a media website by the name of The Smoking Gun would send in a public records request receiving 86 pages from the Florida Department of Corrections about Officer Ricky's...
Has Rick Ross even been locked up himself?
A photo of William Roberts, a.k.a. Rick Ross's State of Florida application, would state he received his diploma from Miami Carroll City High and went on to Albany State University to study criminal justice.
He went to Albany State?
On his supplementary application, he stated his nickname was Big East and denied knowing anyone in prison, along with never working in prison or in law enforcement. Now, with every new recruit, the Department of Corrections wants to know how willing you are to complete your correctional duties. Ross would check off he's willing to work rotating shifts, carry a firearm, and work with violent inmates, homosexuals, etc. He'd also state he's willing to shoot an inmate who's attempting to escape, body search a male or female inmate, and write an incident report. In 1995, Ross would take an oath of loyalty to support the Constitution and would receive a letter stating he's now officially a correctional officer trainee at the South Florida Reception Center. 5 months later, it was now 1996, and Ross would receive an award for completing 540 hours of basic training. Ross was now an official corrections officer and can be seen taking a picture at his graduation ceremony. 4 months later, he'd receive a certificate of appreciation for perfect attendance from the same woman he could be shaking hands with at his ceremony. But eventually, all good things must come to an end. And in June of 1997, Ricky Rose sent in a resignation letter and officially left the force. But like I said, this isn't new news. This came out back in 2008, and 50 Cent started calling Ross Officer Ricky in 2009. That same year, Rick Ross...
This nigga 50 is funny as hell. Do not beef with 50 Cent.
In the pictures. He'd state, me not answering or addressing that situation has nothing to do with my career. I've accomplished enough and I've made enough money for me to be good. Yes, it was me in those pictures, but I'm gonna tell you this. Me taking that job, I was doing my job. You understand what I mean? He'd continue on saying the stuff he talks about is real, the dope is real, and the gun talk is official. But fans would forever speculate, when exactly was Rick Ross in the streets serving bricks?
Nah, for real, when was this?
Podcast, the alleged kingpin was asked about his time as a corrections officer in Florida State Prison.
Were you a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
So going all the way back. When was that? How long ago?
Maybe when I was 20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
What kind of people were in there?
You know, I didn't really get to make it to the prison. Because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said,
yeah,
I was a little tardy.
Now, Ross
God,
only
perfect
worked the job
attendance.
for 4 months and never made it to a real prison because he didn't even complete training from being tardy so much. But this is the same Ross that received a certificate of appreciation for never missing a day. He'd work as a CO for 18 months at the South Florida Reception Center in Miami. This was the first start for any
a year and a half gang
system from Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, or any other neighboring counties. This was very much prison, and the South Florida Reception Center has repeatedly made the news, like when 4 COs were arrested for beating an elderly inmate to death, or when 11 inmates died from COVID. But still, Rick Ross got a pass because even if he never sold drugs a day in his life, the music sounded good enough to forget it. So why still lie?
That's literally what
about
it
your
is.
old job? And if you weren't flipping bricks in between criminal justice class and football practice, when did it happen? Apparently in 2008, the same year the pictures were released, Rick Ross was arrested on gun and marijuana charges. The investigation would be assigned to the gang unit task force, and transcripts would state the gang unit was given the case because Rick Ross claims affiliation with the Carroll City cartel. Now, Triple C's, according to Wikipedia, was the hip-hop group founded by Rick Ross in 2005. Named after the Carroll City neighborhood of Miami, the group featured Rick Ross, Gunplay, Torch, and Young Breed. The transcripts would mention YouTube, and Ross didn't shy away from his cartel affiliation because it wasn't an actual cartel. The transcripts would also reveal this was actually Ross's first arrest as an adult at 32 years old. So technically speaking, you're not a criminal until you get caught, right? And Ross was never caught until after his career already blew up. Aside from marijuana, Ross wouldn't be arrested for anything serious until 2017, when him and his former security guard kidnapped a landscaper by forcing him into a room and pistol whipping him. Ross would plea out to lesser charges as a first-time offender, and the charges would be removed from his criminal history after paying all fines and completing probation. So maybe Ross was just too smart to get caught with any bricks. Going back to his interview, Ross would state he got his job in corrections after his big homie got in trouble and suggested it.
That.
One of my big homies had just got in trouble, and a lot of things were going on, and he just suggested it.
You fuck with it or no?
I didn't. Anything you gotta really do, and you fucking running and jogging and all of that shit, man.
Big homie Ross was referring to is none other than Kenneth Booby Williams. Booby was the leader of the Booby Boys, an infamous murderous drug gang that terrorized Miami in the 90s. Law enforcement officials would state they built a drug empire that smuggled 5 tons and $85 million worth of cocaine across 25 Florida cities and 12 states from 1990 to 1998. The gang was blamed for 35 murders, and when they were all indicted, the shootings and murder rate literally dropped in 4 of Miami's worst neighborhoods. According to a Street Stories article, the Booby Boys reached national attention through Rick Ross who rose to fame in hip-hop's cocaine era, when everybody was rapping about cocaine and selling it. He'd introduced the world to Miami's underworld by wearing a Boobie Boys t-shirt, naming members in his songs, and speaking of them in multiple interviews.
When I talk about yayo, when I talk about streets, body counts, that's where I really come from, you know what I'm saying? I came up in Carol City, the heart of Miami, and just so happened in my generation, we had a good friend of ours by the name of Kenneth Boobie Williams, who was featured on America's Most Wanted in 1999. You understand? And he was accused for over 200 homicides and running an $80 million enterprise.
An anonymous person would speak with the Miami New Times back in 2008 over the correction officer controversy. He'd state, Ross ain't no fake cat. He's always been savvy in my experiences crossing paths with him way back in the day. Ross ran with the Boobie Boys, who were among the top 5 gangsters down here in Miami in the mid-90s. When Boobie Boys leader Kenneth Boobie
starting to sound like Ross actually official, y'all.
They also snatched several Miami-Dade police officers as well because they were on Boobie's payroll. Now Ross wasn't no kingpin himself, but close enough because he ran with some real hustlers that touched major work. Streetwise, Rick Ross's back is against the wall. He can't really elaborate on everything because Boobie is still dealing with the federal case right now on appeal. The streets know that when Ross was a CO, he was working for Boobie on a mission. Now this story would coincide with what Ross said on his Full Send interview, but we don't even know who said it because the person was anonymous and could have been Rick Ross himself or a member of his team. Reading between the lines, this dude was alleging Ross got a job as a CO to work for Boobie in prison, and Boobie was a notorious drug gang leader. But the timelines don't even add up. Ross started working in prison in 95 and resigned in 97, the same year some of the Boobie Boys got locked up. Then the feds indicted 15 of them in 1999. Ross's so-called big homie never even made it to Florida State Prison and would end up in the feds, meaning Ross never came across him while working in state prison. Another anonymous person claiming to be the baby mother of one of the Boobie Boys stated Ross was never a Boobie Boy, and never a dope boy either. Everyone connected to Kenneth Boobie Williams was arrested, and Ross only went to high school with some of the members. She would claim Boobie was an inmate at the South Florida Reception Center before going to prison when he recognized Rick Ross and thought he'd be beneficial. But even her story doesn't make sense, as Boobie doesn't show up in the Florida Department of Corrections offender search. So yet again, another story that can't be proven by another anonymous source. Whether or not Ross promoted the Boobie Boys to give himself a more street appearance, Ross would skyrocket into stardom and rise to legendary status in the state of Florida. Because of that, nobody really gives a fuck if Ross's whole persona was fake because he still made it. But apparently Ross does because he responded to me on Instagram. Now, I made a post about him lying over how much time he actually did working in prison, and he'd respond in a series of Instagram posts stating I'm a rat. He'd show my mugshot and
1090 Jake Champagne, White Boy, who next? BBL Drizzy, 1090 Jake. Damn, boy, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga 1090 Jake. Not 1090 Jake. This nigga Rick Ross been coming at everybody, nigga, ever since that little Drake beef sparked up, boy. Tell you.
post and in another, a statement. The statement would read, the suspect, Cherry, made several spontaneous statements. He stated that the gun was in his friend Alex's room inside the closet under the green shirt. He stated that he was shooting the gun in the middle of the street and that he is sorry.
He using this to clear up his rat allegations again.
Using the piss in, he saw a shiny object and reached down and found the gun. Now, Rick Ross would at me, putting multiple rat emojis while adding Drake saying, "White boy, who next?" He'd then make another post writing the same thing. Now, since Ross added me, I now had the ability to DM him, so I sent him a voice message back.
Oh yeah, you played, Officer Ricky, you played. I
I saved my homie people from getting jammed up before they went inside the house and found that gun and took them out Section 8. I blew that pistol. That was my case. You played, though. I ain't wake up and put a badge on. You did. Now, whoever decided to send that to Ross didn't send him the other 25 pages detailing what actually took place and how I admitted I fired the gun and the gun was mine to keep anyone else from being charged. Ross would make another post to Instagram, once again mentioning me.
You got your minions. What's the other white boy named? Pit 1090. He looked like a fucking wet little whale flapping. Shut up. Get mind your business, peon. Man, apologize.
Truth is, me and Drake have no ties and have never spoke, but he'd follow me on the gram shortly after Ross's little tirade. I myself was surprised Ross was so quick to respond to his CO past, as he's changed the story so many times and added new twists, alleging he was pushing weight in prison. But apparently it still strikes a nerve almost a decade later to see himself in that uniform. And like I told Officer Ricky, he's the one that decided to wake up and put on a badge.
I know you know Noriega. The real Noriega. Oh shit, Ricky's friends outside. You hit him? There they go. Oh man, Ricky's crew. He said he got a $2 million crew in New York City. Why?
Now I know, like y'all know, everybody got favorites, and it seems that once you reach a certain level of superstardom or money, nobody really gives a fuck anymore about what used to be or what never happened. Nobody's gonna care if you never sold dope. Nobody's gonna care if you whatever, because you already made it, right? Fake it till you make it. It works out how it works out. I couldn't even find a picture of Rick Ross and Booby together. Maybe I just didn't recognize dude or whatever, but I couldn't even find a picture of them together. It was all just Ross shouting out his big homie who he ran with, but Ross was never tied into none of the shit that was going on. He was investigated as being a member of the Carroll City Cartel, but obviously they saw he wasn't doing shit except making music, and there was nothing to get Ross on. I refuse to believe he's the smartest criminal. Everybody always says that shit like, oh, I didn't get caught. But all the major guys get caught. Or at least get investigated by the feds, right? Maybe you get lucky enough to beat that shit.
This is true.
But everybody else is getting caught. Now, Rick Ross, when he blew up, it was around the time of everyone rapping about cocaine. It fit the scene. He took off with it. He was the one from Miami that did it. Cool. Come to find out, he was a fucking CO, which is crazy. Because at the end of the day, you know, you got a lot of people arguing, oh, but the COs are the ones that bring us the drugs, and they give us this, and they give us that. They're also the ones that walk in, tell you to hang up on the phone. They don't care if it's your mother, your girlfriend, your kid. It's time to lock down. Imagine Rick Ross walking around, lock down, chow, chow. Imagine that. That's a CO. I don't give a fuck how much dope they're bringing you, because they're putting somebody else in cuffs, taking them to confinement. And this is a fun fact for everybody that's been to prison. You know this is true, especially in the state of Florida. When you get a job there, it's mandatory. Your sergeant is going to press you to put inmates in confinement and write DIs on them. They want to see that you're actively doing your job, which is fucking with the inmates. So there's no way that you're in there moving dope, flipping this, selling that, not putting a bunch of other people away. Because the ones that are really moving shit, they're putting the most people away to cover up their tracks. Makes sense, right? If you're selling dope in prison, you're not locking anyone up, you're gonna look a little bit fucking suspicious. So while this guy might be serving you, he's fucking somebody else over. But to be honest with you, none of the shit about him serving anything in prison made any sense to me, because you went to college for criminal justice, you got a job inside of a prison, and then you resigned before everyone you knew went into prison. And the thing is, you were working at a reception center, so even if Booby got sent there, he'd only be there for about 6 weeks until he got transferred off to a major institution. That's just how reception works. You don't stay there. But let me know y'all's thoughts and opinions. I mean, why is he still lying about how much time he actually worked in the Florida Department of Corrections if he's so big it can't even stain his career? Make that make sense. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Until next time.
Alright, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. My closing thoughts. I don't know, man. 1090 Jake does a good job of painting both sides of the picture. I will say that. And he painted both sides of the picture well right here. In the beginning, I was just like, I was completely on the side of this nigga Rick Ross, the police officer. What the fuck? Like, I don't believe none of the shit he be saying for real, but the music sound good. That was where I came into this video, on that side. Not that it matters that much to me anyway. But that's what I was under that belief. And then he started saying the things about, oh, he did get locked up. He was investigated for being a part of this cartel. He got weed charges, which shows he might have been moving shit and just didn't get caught. Like, you know what I'm saying? He might have really been moving. But, yeah, like 1090 Jake said, bro, if you're really moving that shit, like all the biggest niggas, they get caught, bro. Unless you was just like some small time dope boy, you probably had a P, 2 Ps every month or something, and you was just, you know what I'm saying, well, every now and then just to pay the rent. Then maybe, you know what I'm saying? But if you was really with them boys, them, what'd he say, the Booby Boys, and they racked up, what'd he say, $85 million, and they all got charged and you didn't, I don't know. And then he said the timelines didn't add up again. So it's just like, I came into this video thinking, hell no. Middle of the video, he started explaining all his charges and all this other shit. I'm like, I guess I kind of see that. Maybe he just is the world's smartest criminal or something. But, and then he started saying the dates and the timeline don't add up and all these anonymous sources are contradicting each other's stories. So it's just like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and assume that I was right before. And he just doing this for the image part of it, and he probably wasn't involved in all that shit. But he probably, like 1090 Jake said, just went to high school with them niggas, knew a couple of them, he cool with them on some shit, and he's portraying this image because they're all locked up that he ran with the Booby Boys. But maybe he did, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't the vibe I'm really getting off of this, y'all. And I feel like whenever the Booby Boys or he said his big homie gets released, we gonna find a lot of truth about this situation, because I feel like they're gonna get to speaking on it. And Vlad, Officer Vlad TV, you know what I'm saying? He's really good at that. He probably gonna be the first one to interview one of them niggas as soon as they get released. So I feel like, I don't know when they're scheduled for release, but whenever they do get released, we're gonna find out a lot more information about Rick Ross and his cop career. Know what I'm saying? But that's all I gotta say about it, y'all. That's gonna do it for this video. As always, if you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy it. My name's Isaac, man. I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. Know what I'm saying? Turn on and post notifications as well so you're notified whenever I drop another video. Head over to Instagram, follow me there at officialisaac_, and go check out my main channel too, man. It's just Isaac, ISAAC, man. Pranks and everything over there all the time. But with that being said, man, that's gonna do it, man. I'm gonna see you in the next one.